Hello, Raindrops, new subscribers and old friends. Welcome to Government Minute, minutes that matter. This is Mr. Ray reminding you to take care of those three things right now. Like and share this video. Subscribe to this channel. And click on that notification bell so you know when our videos come out. Today is May 3rd, 2022. And as always, this video is dedicated to the glory of God who blessed this land. We're going to start talking about the most important branch of our government. We're going to talk about the branch that gets all the attention. Or do they? We're going to talk about the branch that our founding fathers thought would be the dominant branch of government. The branch of government that our founding fathers thought would set the agenda. And that is Congress. That's right, our founding fathers thought Congress would set the agenda and be the most important branch of government. Why? Well, think about it. Congress, the members of Congress represent different areas. And way back in the day, when they didn't live in Washington year-round, they went back home and mingled with the ordinary common folk, the hoi polloi, right? And so they thought they would be most responsive to the people. They thought they would be the ones that the people would turn to most when they had questions or concerns about government. Well, with the advent of mass communications, the presidency has obviously taken over that role of setting the agenda and of being the person that gets the rightfully gets the blame or gets the credit, depending on the situation, when things go well or when things go badly. And so the president is now seen as the most important branch of government. The executive branch or the presidency is seen as the most important branch of government. But our founding fathers thought differently. They thought Congress would be the dominant branch of government for the reasons talked about earlier. Because you live in a representative democracy, that means we hire people at a very nice salary to make laws for us. Congress is the legislative branch, the branch that makes laws. And so we hire these people every 2 or 6 years, and we'll talk about that, to go up to Washington and take care of our business. And if we don't like the job they do, we get rid of them and put someone else. So that is the legislative branch. The power to make laws. The legislature makes the laws. Legislators are your senators and representatives. There are three reasons our founding fathers set up what we call a bicameral legislature. Two houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate. The House is re-elected every 2 years, and senators are re-elected every 6 years. Now, our founding fathers thought it was a good idea to have this disparity in the length of offices because you need both. If you've ever been in a grocery store and heard a child throwing a fit because they want candy or whatever it is now, right? They want it now. Kids have no concept of it. No, we'll get it tomorrow. They're throwing a fit. They need it now. They don't understand later. So if you go home and put a bag of Hershey's Kisses in front of a child and walk away and leave them no instructions, what are they going to do? They're going to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat until they get sick. Because it sounds good in the moment. It sounds good right now, but they're going to get sick. The House of Representatives has to be reelected every 2 years. So they are in a hurry and they want it now. They may not have another term of office, each individual legislator, if they don't get reelected. So they need it now. They're like that child in the store who wants that candy now. The senators have 6-year terms. They have a longer term of office. They're supposed to be the adults in this situation. They're supposed to be the ones who say, you know what, this sounds good now. What about 5 years from now, 10 years from now? How's this going to affect the country? Is this a good idea? So the members of the House want it now. Members of the Senate take a longer view. One's fire, one's the wet blanket. And it's good. You need the fire to get things going, but you also need the wet blanket to slow it down. And so our founding fathers set it up very well so that our Congress was a good mixture of the two. And so sometimes you need a little extra fire, sometimes you need to cool it off. And so they set up a bicameral two-house legislature, the House of Representatives and the Senate. Our Congress is elected to a 2-year term. For instance, this November, November 2022, members of the House, members of the Senate will be elected. And in January of next year, they will start a term of Congress. It'll be for the year of 2023 and 2024. So that is a term. Each term has 1 year sessions. So January 2023, they'll start the first session of Congress. And in January 2024, they'll start the second session of that Congress. So each session lasts a year from January when they start till they finish their business for the year. Back in the day, it used to be June, July. They'd be home. They'd be done for the year, and they'd go home, barring an emergency session or a special session, which we'll talk about later. So a term of Congress lasts 2 years, and each session within a term lasts 1 year. They are numbered consecutively. So, for example, the very first Congress was 1789 and 1790. The second Congress was 1791, 1792, and so on and so on. The sessions of Congress. Remember, the term is 2 years. Each session of Congress cannot be adjourned unless both houses agree on a date. If they can't agree on a date, they can't agree on when to go home. If they can't agree on a date, the president has the power to prorogue or adjourn a session. If the House wants to adjourn on, November 26th, and the Senate wants to adjourn on December 5th, and neither side will budge, the president can come along and say, you are going home on whatever date. Never had to been used as far as I can remember. I might have to research that. And because going home is never an issue. Coming back to work, that's something else. All right. Special session. If Congress goes home, adjourns a session, a special session can be called for an emergency situation. You see this happen more at the state level than you do at the national level because, again, they're in session almost year-round. They report in January, and they finish up, depending on if it's election year or not. If it's an election year, they finish up by end of September, beginning of October, because they've got to go campaign. If it's a non-election year, they might finish end of November, middle of December, and they go home for the year. So, but if they are out of session, the president can call them back in a special session. He can call the House by themselves, the Senate by themselves, or he can call all of Congress, House and Senate, into a special session. And by law, they must assemble. Next time, we'll talk about the House of Representatives more specifically. And I'll leave you with this. If you are for something, if you are in favor of something, you're considered pro-gun, pro-abortion, pro-Second Amendment, pro-free speech, whatever. If you're against something, you're con. You are against. So pro and con, for and against. So what is the opposite of progress? Put your answer in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you paid attention because there will be a test at the next election. This is Mr. A reminding you that we, the people, are the government. See you next time.